Whom am I talking to?
Hey, my name is Frederick.
Nice to meet you, Frederick. To best assist you, could you tell me more about the type of property you're looking for? What are your must-have features?
Totally, I'm looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in Portland for around $500,000. And I would like to schedule a viewing as well.
Great choices. Perfect, Frederick. I'll arrange that for you.
Thank you very much.
Follow up from our team shortly.
Perfect. If everything worked out, you should be able to see something right here. And this one was something from a failed call that I just did that my voice over IP address did not properly do. So let's just ignore this one. It basically never happened. It doesn't exist. So this is the actual one I want to show you, and just to show you that the concept works, because here we have a fully fledged example from the conversation that I just had with a chatbot. What you just witnessed is a real estate lead qualification chatbot that can talk directly to your leads. And it collects your lead details 24/7 so that you can start nurturing your leads right away. And since we live in the 21st century, all of that is possible without writing a single line of code. In this video, I'm going to show you how that works and how you can set it up for yourself to make more with less. My name is Yannis Moore. I'm the founder of Integraticus, an agency that focuses on AI and automation to help our clients and our community to push ahead of competition. The example you saw was built in less than an hour, and it uses tools that I will explain along the way while you're watching this video. The core of the complete setup is a newly rebranded tool called Synflow, which allows you to create those conversational AI agents in just a few clicks. Then we are going to use make.com in combination with tools like OpenAI and JSONout to take our transcripts, validate them, and add them to our Google Sheet. If you've been part of my community so far, you probably have heard of the name JSONout already. It is a new tool that I released to help structure and repair broken JSON data from conversational AI with just a simple API call, but I'm gonna explain more about that in a moment. And lastly, we finish it off by connecting Twilio as our phone number provider. And that's literally it. And if you're still here, congratulations. You're part of the 0.1% that is about to take over the efficiency game in 2024 and beyond. Thanks to people like you, we will see an insane growth in programmatic automation. And if you're part of my community already, you are on the right track to make a fortune in the future. That said, let's dive into the setup. Everything you're going to see in this tutorial will be available as a template inside of our resource hub. This will help you to build the bot even faster, giving you a chance to try it right now. If you don't know about our resource hub, it is a platform where I am sharing anything I do on my YouTube channel for free, so simply head over to hub.integraticus.com and sign up there, so you can follow me along on the screen. The first thing you want to do is to set up an account on Synflow. To do that, you simply click on Get Started and choose a plan of your choice. I suggest to take one of the higher plans for now, as it has a 7 days free trial, so you can just use it and test it without paying anything for it. The Pro trial is definitely sufficient, so feel free to go ahead with that. Once done, you can create your first assistant. I already did that here, as you can see, with my Bright Horizons Realty Assistant, and all I'm going to do is open it up. During the onboarding process of creating your assistants, you are prompted to add a prompt and select something you want. In my example, I already did that, so you unfortunately don't see the assistant on my screen, but you will on yours. But you will be able to choose a template, and the template I chose for this example is the real estate buyer inquiry and lead qualification call script. I applied it and I customized it a little bit. So what you basically do is you change the name and some of the placeholders that you want to replace, like this one, Bright Horizons Realty. This is basically the fictive name for my real estate agency that I created. And you do this with the whole script. And one more thing that I did here is I just added instructions double point in a space in front of that message, as otherwise it sometimes just outputted it, which was a little bit weird. So as a quick fix, I just added instructions in front of it, and that kind of solved the problem. The next thing you want to do is you want to add your API keys for Twilio. I did that right here. So you simply add your Twilio account SID here and your auth token here. They will be directly available inside of the Twilio dashboard. Just make sure when you have a Twilio account, it is not in a trial account, otherwise it will not work. You need to have an active account with an active phone number. Once that's done, you can head over to the configure tab, and some of those settings you see here, you probably already set during the onboarding of the assistant. In my case, the name was probably already set in the very beginning. I think it was the first thing I had to set, and I chose Paul as a voice. You can obviously choose whatever suits your model the best, or your bot the best. And for the AI model, I chose GPT-4 Turbo, which is a little more expensive, but that's okay for my testing purposes. As a voice synthesizer, I use standard, which is definitely sufficient, as you can probably hear from the example that I showed you in the beginning. Language, I keep the same. Custom greetings, I keep the same as well. And I enabled recordings, just so I can look over and actually see the quality and understand the voice quality of my environment. Because before I tried the bot, or I developed the bot in a more public environment, and it still did it very well. So even with noise cancellation, etc., it was pretty good. Once you set up your prompt, you can head over to the deployment, and there are there's only one setting that you need to change, which is the external webhook URL. And this is basically the scenario that I built to add that conversation to my Google Sheet, including the transcripts and some further information, as you can see here. Just to go quickly over the sheet. So all we have in here is lead name, phone number, the time zone, the length, and I also added some extra information that I collected basically during that conversation. And I also added the whole thing as a JSON right in here. And we have the whole transcripts at the very end in case we want to run more automations or whatsoever with it. By the way, the example I'm going to show you uses make.com, and you can use that same kind of setup I just showed you right now to actually schedule viewings as well, because it's not something that Synflow can support right now. What they do support, and this is something I want to show you before, if you go to the prompt tab, you can see that you set up different actions. You can set up an SMS, and those, unfortunately, for booking, they are not available yet. They are just about to come because the platform is still very new. So if you want to use them, there is a way around that, and that is by using the transcripts, and I'm going to show you in a second how that works as well, including the templates that you can use from within our resource hub. All right, back to the deployment tab. As I talked about the external webhook, that is basically the webhook URL that you will get whenever you set up a scenario inside of make.com, and I already did that here, as you can see. So that scenario, what you see here with 4 steps, basically contains that webhook's endpoint, which is the webhook endpoint that we call. So the URL you see right here, you simply copy that one and you paste it right within Synflow in the external webhook URL. And just to give you a better understanding of what module you actually set, I'm just going to show you what module this one is. So if I click here and I select webhooks from the list from the applications, I can select the custom webhook, which is basically the webhook that is then triggered for that whole scenario and runs that whole scenario in that moment. Once that's done, we are running through a chat completion with a need prompt that you will also find inside of our resource hub. So you can simply copy that and replace the transcripts, which you probably don't need to because that whole thing will be available as a template. So if you don't want to build everything by yourself, all you need to do is you need to download the template from our resource hub and you click on import and you import the template, and it will just look the same here from your end. So all you need to do then is change the webhook URL, add it to Synflow, and obviously add your Google Sheet connection, because everything is basically predefined. And one more thing I would like to mention is that JSON out endpoint, because you might think, why is that actually necessary? Because sometimes what happens is when you actually want to use a classifier like I do here, I basically expect ChatGPT to return a JSON construct that looks something like this, with a name, budget, bedroom, state, etc. And I wanted to return it as a JSON construct. And the problem is when classifying things with JSON constructs, they sometimes break because an AI is conversational, so it sometimes adds extra content that is not necessary, that you don't want. And JSON out is a tool that I built for you guys that is free to use. So all you need to do is create an account and you get access to an API that you can use to actually validate those JSON constructs and actually make them a valid JSON even if they are broken. So that just helps again to eliminate the problem of having invalid JSON, which then breaks the whole scenarios and stops the workflow. It's just a big mess, and you can avoid all of that by just using that endpoint. And in our scenario, I also pre-configured that. So what we do is basically we simply feed in the JSON that we get back from ChatGPT, and we want to get it validated, and that happens right here. So if you look in the response, you can see that inside of the data, we actually have the whole JSON data now properly validated, and we can just take out whatever we want. And those informations then are connected inside of our make.com scenario for the Google Sheet to add a new row. So this is the whole magic behind it. It's very simple. If you don't want to build it, as mentioned, just download it from our resource hub and install it here, activate the scenario, and replace the webhook URL within your voice agent. Once you've done that and you have connected Twilio properly and you have a valid phone number, you will be able to select the phone number here and you can test your assistant, or you can obviously also just use one of your numbers and call the assistant directly on this number, and it will also work. So this is literally the whole magic behind it. It's not complicated. And just to give you a little viewings, which is something that they don't support right now, all you would need to do is you would basically be adding a new router here and then adding this information that comes back from the webhook. I think in my case, actually, we can just place it right here. So we can connect this one. Sorry, no filter, unlink. We can connect this one here and we can connect this one to the router. So all you would need to do in case you want to schedule a viewing, you can basically take the transcript that was sent here and you can make another OpenAI chat completion, or you can just add it to the JSON with the date. So let's say I already did it here, scheduled viewing time. So it's already added. So you basically don't need to do much. All you need to do is then basically take that scheduled viewing time and add it to another integration wherever you manage your meetings, right? So we can basically use Calendly and we can say say something like create a schedule link. I don't see another action right here, but create a schedule link will then basically just send out an email to the person and they can confirm. So you both have it inside of your calendar. Obviously, this was just like something I just came up right now in my mind, but it's something that works, and you can probably do that with any kind of calendar that has an integration with make.com or either has an API endpoint. So that's it to this. I'm gonna remove all of those parts and just add those together, as you will get them this simple way, just to give it a try. And yeah, that's it basically for that example. That's literally all you need to make this voice chatbot work. And in case you really want to take this whole thing live, I suggest to soft roll out your number so that you can basically give access to the number for a few selected people so that they can try it and they can give you feedback on how it performs, so that in the end, when you really roll it out, everything is in place and works properly. And I definitely suggest you to keep up to date, even if you don't use their software right now, as they are adding new cool actions there. So in case you plan later on to build a chatbot visually, this is really a cool platform, and I'm pretty sure they're going to become bigger. For now, I really hope you got some value from this video, and if you're not part of my Discord community yet, definitely join, as I will usually release stuff before I release it anywhere else. That means neither on YouTube, neither on Twitter, neither on Instagram or TikTok. So this is the place where you are first to hear about what is up. Like for example, the JSON Now tool, it was already out a couple of days before you see this video. So definitely head over there and follow up with us. And for now, I wish you a great one and see you next time.